everybody.
Welcome,
welcome to Little Monsters Movie Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Dino.
Ted.
Yes.
We tried to go live, but you all crashed the site.
Yeah, something
Good
happened.
work.
So, oh well. What are you going to do?
So now you gotta wait for your goodies.
Yeah, we've been gone a week, man. And we took a week off because we were sick. So,
yeah, we had Romulan flu. But we've kicked it.
I had the Exorcist flu. Green stuff came out. But anyways, yeah, we're back,
Big
man.
D like you, man.
We are back.
Back
We
in that
got
ass.
we got Angus Grimm.
Yeah.
We got Phantasm.
Phantasm. I was
1979.
holding off on this one because I thought, there's a new one coming out. The
Right.
fifth one, Ravager, which obviously will be the last one.
Mm-hmm.
But since he's passed away, it seems only appropriate to jump on the bandwagon and do a Phantasm movie.
Yeah. And this was great. Very interesting.
Now, we were
it's been a
talking
long
before.
time since I've seen it.
Right. Probably enough to where you didn't really remember it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are your thoughts after you saw it? You really dug it?
I did dig it. It was very interesting.
Mm-hmm. A lot of cool ideas in this
A
movie.
lot of cool ideas. This is horror, sci-fi.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more once you get way deep into the movie, more sci-fi than horror.
Right, especially if you follow into the sequels too. I definitely think it goes more into a science fiction direction. But basically,
I love the tall man. But go ahead.
I was just going to kind of summarize. Basically, it's about a small town and a ominous funeral home. I guess I don't know what you call them. Caretaker. Caretaker of the funeral home. And people are coming up missing, and it turns out they're all tracing back to this guy, and the things inside this funeral home are not what they seem. It seems like it's almost a doorway to another planet.
Well, and this all rotates around a child.
Right, a young 13-year-old boy named Mike.
Mike.
And his brother Jody.
Jody, yeah. And Reggie, who's his buddy, the ice cream truck guy.
Yeah, Reggie carries over into all the films. He's in all the movies.
Okay. But,
Mike, too, for the most part, that actor doesn't play him in the second one, but the same actor does play him in the other films.
Okay.
And they even have Jody coming back, like as a ghost.
Because I haven't seen the other...
But he's older.
Believe it or not, I haven't seen the sequels to the movies. So
and I'm not going to go and say...
I've only seen this one.
I'm not going to go out and say this franchise is gold, but there's a lot of things in it I like. I love these ideas. They're really heady, cool, sci-fi, twisty kind of ideas. They almost remind me a little of Philip K. Dick sort of things going on. And
You said Dick.
well, Philip
K. Dick.
If people out there are literate, you know who I'm talking about. And I don't know. It's just, this is definitely a film I probably watch maybe once a year, once every other year. I've seen it a bunch of times. And
I dug it, but yeah, I get you.
I
get you, man.
But there's things that don't make any sense in it. And I will enumerate them as we go.
No, just like anything, I think we say this all the time. I really dug this movie. It was interesting, but we can pick apart the best movies.
But I think some of it's intentional. To leave it a little bit obscure.
Yeah.
And, then there was evidently some demand for a sequel. I don't think Don Coscarelli, who directed this film, and he's gone on to make other movies you may have seen, like we're talking about doing Bubba Hotep next week. He did that one. That's just kind of coincidence that he did that. I forgot that he did that movie, but he's done a bunch of other horror movies, especially the Phantasm films. And this was
he did Don what's his name? What's his name? Don
Coscarelli.
Yeah, he did that movie. Don Coscarelli Goes to Brazil. It's a comedy, but he took a tangent.
I missed that.
Took a tangent one year. He said he was on drugs, lewds, uppers, downers.
Lewds. Was he Bill Cosby? He was quite lewds. He was on lewd.
Anyways.
Lewds.
Bill Cosby. Anyways. Yeah.
But this was, completely independently financed. Friends, family, whoever you could get.
I listened to him like, okay.
Yeah.
Ted's the documentary for the movie, and I just go, and I watched it, and I go, oh, yeah.
It's a labor of love. That's what we're trying to say here, It's just, So it ended up being what he wanted it to be. So if we talk about things that don't necessarily make sense or things that are open-ended, I think that's how it was intended to be. So we'll point them out as we go, but I do think they're supposed to be that way. And then as the sequels came on, you kind of had to answer those questions a little bit, I guess. So maybe that wasn't the initial... I think a lot of these classic horror movies, they never intended a sequel to. John Carpenter never intended a sequel for Halloween.
Because they never really. Well, I take that back.
Wes Craven.
I was going to say they didn't
want to do another Nightmare movie,
right?
Yeah.
But they ended up always doing it. I was going to say it was at the time when they didn't do sequels, but they've always done sequels. I mean, in the olden days, even in the 40s and stuff like that. It wasn't as much,
I think back in the 70s.
But I think they meant for these movies to be one and done, but then, they're like, hey, let's get another one.
Who thought there would be a sequel to The Exorcist and that it would suck so bad?
Amen.
But then the next sequel would be pretty good.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But let's get on to the movie, man.
Okay,
1979.
There's a bunch of Jawas running around in this.
Oh, yeah, we forgot to mention that
the tall guy is awesome. Angus Grimm is cool. His character is the style to the movie, the way he walks. And I like when he's going down the street, he stops, he looks at Mike.
You hear his boots click.
Yeah, and it's
Clack,
a slow-mo.
Click.
And you see him across the street, and he looks. And then he just takes off again. But these little Jawas, they're Jawas. He took them off the set of Star Wars.
They're the townspeople
who are
and they
dwarves.
They squish them down so that they evidently dress
to 3
them in
feet
robes
tall,
like Jawas, and they transport them to their planet to be slaves because of the increased gravity.
And we'll describe how that all works into this movie. But yeah,
that's where that sounds just more science fiction to me than horror.
Without a doubt. I mean, the horror aspects, I guess, the sphere, which is very cool. Just to know that there's this funeral home where there's weapons out there. The sphere,
right.
going all around this, these hallways and stuff, and it gets you very cool.
I think I read that Kirk Hammett, the guitarist from Metallica, owns the original prop of the sphere.
I can see that.
Because he's a big horror nut.
Oh, that's cool.
He's a monster kid like us, and except he's got money to have cooler stuff than what we have.
Well, yeah. If I was rich, this would be nothing. I mean, we'd have a...
Hell, he put out a book with just his stuff. Pictures of his stuff.
It said, my stuff.
What is this horror movie stuff?
That's awesome, man. Horror collectibles.
So, the film starts in a... Well, it also starts with some really cool music that's sort of reminiscent of Exorcist.
Yeah.
This movie's got a few things in it that remind me of some other movies. Definitely Suspiria, which I don't know if you've ever seen.
Yeah.
We'll get to it one time, but it's got that...
feel to it.
Yeah, that otherworldly feel to it. I see a little bit of...
There's some teats.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Some udders.
I feel this has got a little bit of like... what's that movie? They remade it in the 80s, too. Invaders from Mars.
Yeah.
Where the kid's trying to tell people what's going on in the town and no one's believing them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's Invaders from Mars right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got...
and the girl that they show, like, at the beginning you show a girl and a guy...
in a cemetery.
In a cemetery.
Having a
little nookie. Whoopee, they called it back in the 60s. Yeah. But we find out that girl is the tall man.
Yeah.
So he'll transform. He's so demented, man.
This guy's name is Tommy. He's a friend of the main characters of this movie. And, he's laying there, oh, baby, that was good. And then all of a sudden she's got a knife in his hand and plunges it into Tommy and no more Tommy.
Yeah. And as he's kind of on top of Tommy.
Yeah, the face goes from the blonde
to the tall man.
Right,
to the blonde to the tall man.
And that's enough to put you off right there. And you look up and go, oh, no! Imagine that.
See here, right here?
Imagine old Angus, getting on board.
Oh, man. But yeah, so he dies, and they have a funeral, and
that's where we meet Jody and Reggie, and it sounds like all three of them were pretty close friends.
Yeah.
And
I love the huge house, too. It's set back there in the graveyard.
The funeral house. Yeah,
Morningside.
It's almost like a mansion.
Oh, my God. In the weird 70s marble...
Right, because the inside's the mausoleum.
Right.
And that's where, Jody says, I want to go visit somebody.
Yeah.
And he goes
I want to dance with
and
somebody.
We find, I want to feel the heat with somebody.
Whitney Houston.
Is that who sings that?
She's in one of the mausoleums.
Oh, yeah, she's in this mausoleum. Too soon?
I might have to cut that out, yeah. Anyways, yeah.
She was buried in Morningside. But his... parents, his mother and father,
are there.
Who I believe, I think they say maybe they died in a car crash or something like that.
60 and 70 years old. What?
What?
I don't know, I'm just saying stuff now.
And Yeah, so he's kind of, it's just, a marble plate on the wall that he's there to visit. And then we get introduced to his little brother, Mike, 13-year-old, being kind of disrespectful, tearing ass through the cemetery on a motorcycle.
Yeah, typical
on
70s,
a dirt bike.
70s hippie, jean jacket, little motorbike going there.
I have a jean jacket.
Yeah,
I don't know. When I was about 14, I kind of looked just like this.
Did you?
Yeah.
But this dude is a little okay. His what happened? His parents died.
Right.
Okay, so Mike is his older brother, and
Jody's his older brother.
Jody, okay,
right.
Jody takes care of Mike.
Jody's about probably like 24, I think.
Yeah, so he's all he really has.
Right. It's been about a year, I think, or something, a year or two.
Yeah, so he's kind of. It's a weird part throughout this whole movie. He's obsessed with following.
Yeah, he always kind of tails
Jody.
around. I think he's just got like an abandonment issue.
No, right. Yeah, no, I get it.
So he's always kind of tailing him.
I get it. But
it also seems like he's, I don't know, a little sensitive. Like, he maybe
you would
gets
think,
a feeling like something bad's going down, or
could be. Well, yeah.
He's going to know once he sees what he sees.
And you got to remember this movie takes place right at the beginning with Tommy dying, and everything just starts from there. So there's no get to know these characters or anything like that
as the show goes.
Because you wonder, does Mike have any friends, or where's he hanging out with?
Him with
because
any friends.
No, he's just following his older brother all around the place. And,
you're absolutely right.
And that could be just budget wise. They actors and stuff, they wanted to keep it lower. I don't know.
The film was made with friends, family. People who he knew kind of wanted to get into acting.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's not really any... I think the only person who actually was an actor before was, Angus Scrimm.
Mm-hmm.
And, Mike's kind of tearing around in the cemetery on his motorbike. They go back to Jody, who's wandering the halls of the mausoleum, and that's kind of spooky in and of itself, but in a way it's probably kind of neat, because it's nice and quiet.
Yeah, I would be doing that.
Hear your footsteps, and he does think he sees something dart around a corner, which we're going to find is probably one of these little Jawa guys.
Yeah, we see this through the whole movie, actually.
You're always seeing little capes fly behind corners.
And they're looking for R2 units, and
the tall man just kind of sneaks up behind Jody and puts his hand on his shoulder, and the ceremony is about to begin, or the service is about to begin.
He is a tall guy.
Appropriately named, the tall man.
Big, long arms. And
right. Forever remembered as the tall man. He's got a big movie credit thing, but nothing's going to top the tall man. Nothing. And it's just even the name. He doesn't even really have a name. It's just the tall man.
Tall man. Hey, perfect. You don't want anything other than that. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why I like in the original, Halloween, Michael Myers in the credits is the shape. It's not even, that's what's cool. Yeah,
you don't need it. I mean,
you don't need it.
No, you don't need it. And so Mike's
so they showed a little bit of a service. Tommy's, in the casket, and
Mike's kind of got the binoculars.
Yeah, he didn't want him to come to the funeral. I think maybe he just thought it would trigger something from, maybe his
parents'
mom and dad.
deaths and stuff like that. Yeah.
But in typical Mike fashion, he follows, and he's, hiding in the bushes and watching the funeral, the service with his binoculars.
Yeah.
And it's, 8 guys come out to carry the coffin, set it down. They go through the usual service.
They do. He says a little. Are we going to report? Are we going to say that whole?
Yeah, we should recite the whole thing.
We will, but if you don't see it, it's cut out probably. I probably went back and said, "Hey, this is way too long."
Yeah.
But anyways,
Jody and Reggie are going to book, and
Jody and Reggie.
Yeah, hop into the
a bunch of good '70s names, huh? Yeah. Jody and Reggie.
Jody, Reggie. I used to know a kid named Jody. That's not a name you hear anymore.
No. It's a '70s name.
I guess so.
Hey man, Jody.
My boy Jody.
You got the lewds, man.
It's always the lewds with you. Those are outlawed in the 80s. You still have something.
Oh man.
Are you with the cause got his?
Oh. But what happens is that the tall man comes out after the service.
And Mike's watching him through the binoculars.
Yes.
And you're right.
He picks that thing up all by, underneath his arm.
The casket with Tommy in it.
Yeah. And just
picks it up, shoves it in the back of the hearse, and drives off.
Yeah, there's nothing to it,
Yeah, you just see Mike going.
I know it was styrofoam.
No, I don't know.
You don't think so?
I think Angus Scrimm was pretty strong.
You think you really...
Like, I still think there was even a body in there.
Well, isn't his right arm, I think, is actually a robotic arm?
Yeah, it's bionic, because it got cut off in the war.
Yeah. So it could be. I think in the credits it said that.
That's right. Yeah.
Like, IMDb'd it, and it did say that. It said,
there you go.
With his arm, he was able to lift the casket, and we said roll with it.
It's on there. We're rolling with it.
So,
I'm going with it.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like Luke Skywalker, just big robotic arm.
But that freaks him out. Anyways.
Natch. Even by consider. You know, it's kind of fun. So he immediately decides...
As my son would say, epic.
Is that what he says?
It's his new key, his word. Epic, man. That's epic.
Boy.
Dad, you're epic. I'm like, hey, yeah, cool, man. Cool, man. Cool.
Like I took an epic dump.
It was epic in size.
I guess so.
But anyways, after that's
he
done... He
decides to go visit the local fortune teller.
And this is the only time we see them through the whole movie. It's just a quick, let's go to the fortune teller.
This blonde girl's kind of cute, though.
Last night I had my first reading ever.
Who read?
It was kind of weird.
Who did that for you?
It was a show that was on that I was listening to. It was Spaced Out Radio, and it was pretty cool. I never had it before. I'll talk to you off the air about it.
All right.
But anyways, yeah.
So it sounds like he's been to this lady a bunch of times.
Yeah, there's a hot chick there who's taking care of.
Yeah, it's her grandmother. Yeah, it's a grandmother, granddaughter. And
Mike wants to get a reading. All right, man.
She's a cute girl.
She is.
Chick, man. Yeah. She's got a little star kind of like painted on her face there.
Hippies, man. Hippies.
Yeah, man. It's all right.
She probably rides the vans on the weekends and smokes it up. And
maybe she's a good girl. You never know.
She could be.
Yeah, so he's going to ask about, Jody leaving. He's got this feeling that Jody's going to be leaving. And it turns out that is his plan. He's going to, probably take him to his aunt's to stay, and Jody's just going to hit the road for a while. Yeah. And then there's the part with the box. Remember the box? The grandmother doesn't speak.
Right.
It's like the granddaughter and the grandmother are telepathic to each other, and she speaks. The granddaughter
because she giggles at the granddaughter after when he leaves. She's like,
but there is some weird stuff. Like a black box just appears on the table, and this is a little. I'm not going to say a ripoff from the movie, but definitely from the book. I'm sure he had to have read the book before this, but Dune. Okay. The box. She says, "Put your hand in the box."
That's right. Yeah.
And if you've seen the movie Dune or read the book Dune,
or been in a dune,
right? Covered yourself in sand, and he puts his hand in the box and starts to feel pain, and he wants to immediately pull his hand out, but she says, "No, leave your hand in there.
Don't fear.
Pain is the fear is the mind killer. Yeah. You have to overcome your fear," and that's almost word for word from Dune.
Remember you did that the other day?
Yeah, I did that one time
with the spiders.
Yeah,
I filled it up with spiders because Ted's got a phobia of spiders, and I filled it up with all kinds of spiders and put his hand in there.
Fear is the mind killer,
and it didn't help though.
No,
we rushed him to the hospital with about 10 bites.
Yeah, I had to get some bug juice, and I'm more afraid of
the
him than
needle
ever.
in the heart and everything. I did not mean for that to happen. I really didn't.
Thanks, permanently scarred. But
anyways, that's a precursor to. Yeah, not to
it's
fear.
Something that he's going to remember as the film goes on. It's going to flash back to him.
But just a little part of the movie that it's like
right. But it's definitely from Dune.
Yeah.
All right, and just saying.
And I thought when the grandmother was telling him to put your hand in the box, I started getting a little. Thinking dirty thoughts there because that girl was there. I'm like, is that what she means?
Well, it's not like you.
But then I did see the box.
Popcorn. Want to have some popcorn?
Hey, everybody! I go there by myself.
Hey, little kid.
Oh my God! Don't make me have to erase part of this. Anyways,
hey, lady.
Hey, lady.
Would you like some popcorn?
Put your hand in the box and don't be scared. But anyways, yeah. So what happened?
It kind of flashes back in between that scene and then him and Jody kind of driving, and sounds like Mike's pretty good with the cars. He's he has to pull over, and Jody's got a sweet car. It's a Plymouth Barracuda.
And he's got the little 13-year-old Mike driving it.
Yeah, he's just
this kid's got no problem whipping around, man. And
right, he's pops it open.
Jody lets him. Yeah,
it's those headers, man.
He's the one taking care of the car, actually.
Right. So he's a little bit of a gearhead, a little bit of a motorhead, and And that's all right. So it kind of flashes back between the fortune teller and that.
Yeah, there's quick Jody, back and forth. I
think Jody's like riding his bike down the street, and Mike's chasing him down the street on foot. Just
right.
Again,
following him
and
following him back to the funeral home.
Yeah,
and that's when he does actually end up seeing the tall man throw that in the back of the car. And then that's when he goes to the
fortune teller.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of the editing kind of brings it all like full circle.
Yeah. They're jumping back and forth,
which is
a couple times.
It's kind of cool how that happens.
And got me confused. I had to go take a break from the movie at this point for a little while.
Because it was really hard for
I didn't know what was going on.
Ah.
Because I didn't take my
And,
medication.
like, somebody's fucking with my medication.
I had to go find out, did I take the blue pill or the red pill or the yellow pill?
I would take the red pill. I always take the
red pill. Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
But yeah, he mentions the weird thing that he saw at the funeral home. And that box, after he pulls his hand off, it disappears from the table.
Yeah, front of him. So it vanishes in front of him.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff there. But then, the granddaughter's just kind of like, because he mentions this weird thing. So she's going to go up to the funeral home and check it out.
Yeah.
And evidently you can just walk right in the place, I guess, because it's a mausoleum. So.
Well, it's during the day. But yeah,
I guess I kind of view it as like a church or something. People are buried inside there.
Although you got Jawas all over the place.
I know, and she's going to go
little
inside.
Dwarfs. They call them dwarves.
And, we're kind of jumping around because it edits back and forth. But her kind of storyline is she goes inside.
The ending of the movie. Let's tell them that first.
Yeah, the ending.
Then we'll come back to this.
Well, no, she just sees a light coming from a door that we'll see a few times, and if she opens it, you see a bright light come out, and then it goes to the outside of the house. You hear a scream, and then we never see her again. So,
see, I don't remember that part. I think I blacked out during that part.
Did you? That happens to you sometimes. We went to go see Gosford Park. I think I blacked out. No, we left and got our money back.
Gosford Park. Holy crap. There's 2 or 3 movies I've walked out of in my whole life, and that's one of them.
That trailer was so misleading.
Gosford Park.
That trailer was so misleading.
Oh,
that looked like it had been a funny... old-time detective movie. And it was just sitting there watching it for half an hour. I'm not laughing one time.
You said, heck with this, man. Yeah, we walked out.
I've walked out of a few movies.
Oh, my God.
I don't care if people think they're good movies. I'll walk right the hell out.
Hey.
I don't care.
Yeah, if it's not keeping
Remember the first
attention.
X-Men movie? Walked out.
Well, I didn't do that.
You know what I did? Because the film broke or something. And
did it really?
Yeah, it stopped for a few minutes. And I remember there was this... And I was just, I'm not a huge X-Men fan. I was just watching it. I had nothing else to do. And I remember there was this nerdy kid sitting over here, and he turned to me, and he looked, and he said, Marvel finally got it right. I was like, that's it. I'm done.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
leaving. I'm like, yeah, you think so, guy? And I got up and walked right out. Didn't get my money back or nothing. Just...
Ay, Ted. Anyway, there's a part in the movie where they're playing music on the front porch.
Right, Reggie. I love Reggie drives an ice cream truck.
Yes.
All right.
And it comes to play later on in the movie.
That's right.
Where
it's very important.
They show the little metal sound thing.
It's called a tuning fork.
There you go, tuning fork.
Reggie comes over.
I eat with mine, so I didn't know it was for music.
Reggie comes over. Yeah, Jody's sitting out there with his electric guitar. And, it sounds like they just jamming on a little song.
Yeah, good old song.
And Reggie's getting his guitar in tune. And
I think it said, "You are a little cracker, and I'm a little." Okay, for you.
And that's not very diverse.
No, it's not. And I hate the word cracker because Ritz.
You don't like Ritz crackers?
No, or
What about Townhouse or?
Townhouse is good, a little more buttery. But crackers.
I like Triscuits.
Crackers don't do it for me.
I like Triscuits.
Triscuits a little bit more
That's
fiber,
like a meal.
so it's better for you. Get you going and you get that spherical.
Yeah, it
Phantasm.
grabs everything in your group in your.
Oh yeah,
your
it's fantastic.
Phantasm.
Miss Go.
Phantasm.
So
he's using the tuning fork, and they do close up on that.
Yeah,
and that's your key to remember that. Because he's gonna give him an idea later on.
And then we shoot real quick to Jody going to the local dive bar.
Oh yeah.
And he immediately sees a blonde, and Mike's watching him. He follows him there too.
Yeah.
You know, this is weird. I mean, the kids follow him.
Yeah, like they walk this way and just Mike comes walking this way.
Yeah, I'm going to follow him with that girl. Right. But anyways,
this isn't blonde. This isn't the same.
Yeah, it is.
Is it the same blonde from?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I couldn't go ask me. I've seen the movie once.
Same dress.
Yeah, purple dress. So yeah, they're heading into the cemetery, going to start fooling around.
And just thinking in my head that's really the tall man right now. I wonder if the bartender saw that it was that guy, and he's got his arm around. Just picture in your head.
Maybe they
him
just
walking
show
out
us
of the bar.
They probably just show us
the tall man, Angus Grimm, around his hip and their kiss.
I wonder if anybody ever actually I wonder. They probably just show the tall man for our benefit.
Could be.
So that we know who it is. But,
it's weird
and
how...
this blonde ain't even that good looking, tell you the truth.
No.
She's got a...
And she's got ugly... she's got ugly little toppers, too.
I mean, she kind of needs a...
I don't know if they did implants
she needs a
back
checkup
then. I think
from the neck up,
She has a checkup from the... Yeah.
From here down is
medication, surgical stuff, Botox.
Braces.
Everything. Braces. She needs to pierce her ears. She needs a kind of a little perm.
She's
she
not
needs
super
something.
hot like I am.
Feather it up,
Yeah, feather it up.
Yeah, she don't belong to the good-looking club that we're in.
Oh, okay. That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
We didn't fall out of the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down.
We got a specific club we go to every week, and it's kind of eyes wide shut-ish. Except that we play poker.
Right, and you have to be very good looking to get in.
Yeah,
It doesn't,
I'll post it one day and let. No, it's secret, so I can't do that.
Right.
But anyways, they start getting down and dirty, man, and the teats pop out again.
Yeah.
And I think they're fake. This is 1979.
I think they're real.
You take a good look next time she's...
Some chicks have nice boobs.
You think those are nice?
Sometimes they take care of them. They exercise them. I'm going to worker and
I'm going to go on the record as to saying that these boobs are not good.
I'm not going to buy that for a New York minute.
Not to me. He likes them.
I didn't say I like them. I just said I think they're real.
Leave a comment below.
That's right.
And let us know if you agree with...
Did you tag it in the movie there to put the boobs on there?
I will.
All right. I think they're real and they're fabulous.
You tell me if you think they're great, like Ted says, or if you think they're disgusting, like I say.
I guess. But
big doesn't mean good.
I didn't say big means good.
No, some do.
Floppy fun bags. So Mike's being a perv. And, watching his brother's hairy ass go to town. And
you think he would have walked away.
And he's kind of like out in the shrubberies.
Yeah, he's always in the bush. And he's phantasmic. But
he's in the bush. And then out of nowhere comes a Jawa and scares the hell out of him. He goes yelling, screaming through the graveyard.
Yes.
And there's Jody. He's got like the chick's underwear in his mouth. And he just comes up. What the hell?
He keeps it in there.
That's my kid brother. I gotta go.
And he's running away with it still in his mouth.
Yeah. Well,
he's going to take it with him.
You keep that. You hang it on your dashboard.
Back in the 70s, you would hang it on your rear view mirror and stuff like that.
Did you wear a garter belt on your rear view mirror?
I had a truck full of panties.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got pulled over one time by the police, and I was going 2 miles.
Nursing home patients, and that's what was weird.
But I worked in the laundry department, so. Yeah, but he opened it up and they all fell out because I really stuffed them in there pretty darn good. And
you've always had a pair.
They couldn't book me on nothing because they were just panties.
Right. I mean, because every once in a while you had that thing where you
sorry if I'm disgusting people, but
you shat yourself.
Trying to be a little funny here.
What? I'm being serious as a heart attack.
I know. I'm trying to make it seem like we're not telling the truth, but we are.
Yeah.
But are we really? Anyways,
they'll never know.
So yeah,
catches up with Mike, and he's like, there's something weird going on. And at this age, I mean, this poor kid is kind of like in between the puberty thing there, and
his voice,
his voice is a little,
Jody,
there's something weird.
Something was chasing me, and he's like, whatever.
Right. Yeah, exactly. This is the Invaders from Mars kind of thing. No one believes the kid, and that's what he's thinking too. Nobody believes me. But Jody just throws him the keys.
He kicks the dirt. He goes.
Throws him the keys. You go take the Plymouth home. I'll get home soon. He's 13.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He has this kid. He's just... Hey, I guess I get it.
I mean, I'd be cruising around in the car. Hey, baby. I'd go back to that fortune teller's house, pick up that girl.
The fact that it's not like his prized possession either, and he lets his brother just go off with it is kind of weird.
Yeah, that's like a 71, I think.
Yeah, but Jody goes back, man. He's trying to,
Chick's gone.
Wants to finish it up.
She bugged out, man.
He wants to finish it.
Yeah,
up, man.
Now he's gonna have to finish himself.
Yeah, he does that behind one of the
the tombstones.
Exactly.
That's right.
Good movie, Kurt Russell.
That's right, and that's
Johnny Bravo.
And then doesn't the tall man come up behind him again and go, "Boy," and he's what?
Flopping. Hey, I gotta say though, man, I dig this kid's. Okay. Sorry, guys. But this, I gotta say, I dig the kid's room.
Oh yeah.
So it's
that big wall-sized poster of the moon landing.
And do you see the gigantic quilt?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it's called, or
it's not a.
Where the big old lady,
Afghan.
Yeah, like the big old ladies would work for like a year to make her son a. You
go to any nursing home, and that's on the wheelchairs. They've all got their big Afghans.
Yeah. Oh, that tall man.
And he has like a dream. The bed's like in a cemetery, and this is like the classic scene from the trailer.
Yes.
With the tall man standing right over him.
No.
Tombstones in the background, and two of those Jawa guys coming out of the ground and grabbing him.
The dwarves.
Yeah, that's from the trailer, and I always remember that.
His side of his whole wall on the one side is just like the moon.
Right. That's awesome.
I would love that, man.
That is cool. That is really.
I would love that now. Right now, I just got a beach scene.
Is that what you got in your room?
Yeah.
You do? Really?
And I feel like I'm gonna fall in the ocean all the time. But anyways, what happens next then? Is
he goes back to that bar,
and guess who's following him?
Of course, Mike. And he's going in there to ask, "Hey man, you see that chick again?"
Yeah, he goes
out.
Yeah, he goes, "Yo man, what's up with this chick, man?"
Like, we were at the cemetery, kind of
horsing
around.
I was pounding the box, and I was getting
said,
down dirty, and
he was crushing. He was crushing.
And the
some box.
bartender's going like this.
You took her up to the cemetery. And then
the penguin shows up,
and while he's in the bar
with his umbrella, he shoots him. Bing! My butt! And he goes running out the front door, and that music, like Danny Hume music. I don't know.
This is a better movie than the one we're talking about.
None of this happened, but anyways.
Mike's wandering around town, sucking on a sucker.
Yes, and this is the cool scene with.
Yeah, it is. Reggie's loading up some ice and ice cream into his truck, and doesn't really notice that the tall man's walking right there and stops right by his truck and. The cold.
Yeah.
He feels it. And I think we're supposed to get
That's where he sees the boy.
He doesn't really like the cold. Like, he's just like, I don't know.
You think that's what it was?
Because I think it comes into play later that he doesn't like the cold.
Really?
Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know if it's this movie or one of the sequels, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, he stops right there and they do kind of.
I don't remember the cold thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Did you watch all 5 or 4 movies this over the weekend?
I've watched them recently.
Okay.
But
so you're discombobbled.
I'd say probably in the last 6 months I've watched them all.
I am hungry as hell.
Really?
Yeah, my stomach is just. When it just starts making that noise and is looking for something.
Get up close to the microphone. Let them hear it.
Maybe I will next time I can really hear it go. But yeah, but yeah, that's a cool scene. That's where he's walking down the street and he looks at the boy.
And kind of slow-mo.
Clack. Awesome.
Clack.
Awesome.
I mean, the guy's stride is like 8 feet.
Yeah. Well, seeing pictures of I don't know why I would say seeing a picture.
He can walk a mile in like 4 steps.
I wouldn't think he'd be like a tall guy. But yeah, when you see him in this movie, yeah, he's tall. Don't ask me why I say that, but it's just something. Anyways, yeah. Well, we get back to he's working on his brother's vehicle,
right? Yeah,
and then this is where you get the Jawas are running all around
in the car.
Yeah,
they knock the jack out, and he gets pinned under the car.
Oh my god,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so they're able to get out of the funeral home, and they're to follow him to his house.
Yeah,
because they're there.
Somehow, the tall man's feeling a bit of a connection.
So this is kind of, yeah.
And that carries over into the sequels, too.
Yeah, they fall in love in the second movie, right? When he's a little older.
The tall man?
Yeah, and Mike.
Not exactly.
Well, I heard somewhere that it was a very controversial film for the year. Anyways.
It's very controversial film.
Somehow they're able to get to his Mike's house.
I think they take a bus.
It's actually Jody's house.
Somehow they're able to get there.
There's a taxi out there. There is unseen footage out there where the taxi is waiting out in the front of the house for the tall man and the Jawas.
It's Uber.
And they all, like, after this happens and he's pinned under the thing, they all go running out to the taxi and they take off like hell.
That's right. But see, Jody comes back.
Search unseen footage, tall
unseen
man.
Footage. You won't
Phantasm.
see it 'cause it's unseen.
No, but they did release it.
Oh, well, now it's released.
It's part of the Criterion collection.
I would have bought it if it came out. Jackass.
Oh, anyways,
Jody gets him out.
He doesn't believe him,
and he's telling him again. Those little guys were here and they did it, and Jody's whatever. I don't know.
I'd be
I'm bugging out of here, man.
I'd be like, man, it's a good thing you didn't kill yourself with the jack falling out and you underneath that car. Be a little more careful next time, Mike.
Right, you're supposed to get the stoppers to put under your in case the jack falls.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I used to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mike decides he's going to go back out. He's going to go.
Oh, this kid, I don't know.
And I gotta say, man, he's got some guts.
Oh yeah, he's on a mission. He's not scared.
Yeah,
and he's doesn't have school.
Evidently not.
Unless it's summertime. See, I mean, we don't know because all this does take place.
Yeah, this is like the course of a couple of days.
Yeah. Well, we find out even towards the end. I mean, it gets weird. But anyways.
That's where I'm going to start bringing stuff up here.
Next time, I'm going to bring a burger next time with a bunch of barbecue sauce. And
Wendy's.
Dripping all over the place. And I mean, I don't care. I'll just wipe it off. But anyways, he goes back to the... Back to the cemetery.
Takes a knife with him.
Isn't it a Ramones song?
What? Pet Cemetery.
Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Ramones, man. My daughter's favorite band.
Yeah.
And
she's how old?
6.
And her Ramones is her favorite band.
Especially I Want to Be Sedated. And Beat on the Brat.
I want to be sedated.
She loves Beat on the Brat.
She likes what?
Beat on the Brat, the song.
Isn't that where they go, beat on the brat?
With a baseball bat. Oh, yeah.
I made that up.
No, that's Beat on the Brat.
Okay, I'd have to hear that one again.
You know who's a big fan of this movie?
Joey Ramone.
Apart from him.
His brother, Johnny Ramone.
No, this is real. This has all been online. But J.J. Abrams, when,
Really?
Yes. And he's actually helping oversee a restoration of the movie, so hopefully it'll eventually come out on Blu-ray. It's never been on Blu-ray. And he liked the character so much. Remember the Silver Stormtrooper? Captain Phasma.
Yeah.
Phasma, he kind of took it from Phantasm because the silver reminded him of the sphere.
And I think silver and gold.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would think of at first. From Yukon Cornelius.
Yeah, from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Oh, man. But anyways, this dude...
He heads back up to the Morningside Cemetery. He knows that's where the stuff's coming from.
Am I in a video?
What, this video?
Yeah. Am I out of the picture here, or am I good?
No, I mean, as long as I'm in it, because that's what gets the numbers up.
Anyways, he goes and he
kicks
breaks
the window open?
and breaks the glass, and he knocks.
I wouldn't do any of the things that he's doing.
No, this horror things you don't do.
I'd be
horror
in my bed like this, knife in my hand, and just pray to Jesus, Buddha, and Allah that those Jawas don't come back.
Yeah, what really made him...
He's just a gutsy kid. He wants to know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I know their parents
No one
are
believes
there.
him.
And I mean, I guess all the Jawas jumping around and all that.
So that's what I'm saying. He's a gutsy kid. And this is a cool movie in that aspect, where the kid is taking charge. So he kicks his way in.
No, ma'am.
Huh? What?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
He's got his no ma'am shirt on. Yeah. For all us
Bundy here.
For all us women haters club.
I mean, I have them all at home, but
yeah.
I love that TBS has it on like all morning. I wake up in the morning, just click it on, and I'm just in heaven, man. The wife's at work, and this is great.
Oh, Married with Children, yeah. That's another show.
Because you can't watch that show with your wife. your girlfriend, your significant other, whatever. You can't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think girls are as into it as the guys
That's
are.
a guy show. Man.
Yeah.
That's just...
Yeah.
It is pro-guy.
Yeah. Good show. Well, yeah, and then you got, Christina
Applegate.
Aguilera.
Yeah, definitely an early crush for guys our age.
Yeah.
Back when we were like 12, 13, 14, whenever that show was on. And...
Yep. And anyways, he breaks in, he gets into the room, and he hears something coming, he gets into a coffin.
Right.
And he's holding it open with his lighter.
Yeah, he's using his... And
you can
this
see
is actually
the
one of
lighter.
the few movies where when you light the cigarette lighter, it doesn't light up the whole friggin' room like in so many movies.
Right.
It's just right there.
Yeah.
It doesn't really help much.
It actually
at all.
made sense. Yeah.
Right. Most movies, they light it up, phew, the whole room's lit up.
Yeah.
I hate
But you
that.
gotta like how, well, first of all, of course they see him.
Right.
Even though...
Well, I don't know. I mean, one guy... Okay, now here's
There's a crack in there, man.
It is, but... Then a guy comes into the room who we've never seen before.
Right, yeah.
And he starts heading towards that coffin, and then the tall man comes back and motions him back over. We never see that guy again. I don't know who that is.
I don't
That's
know.
one of my questions. Question number one, Don. I don't know who that guy is.
Because it's just the tall man and the Jawas all around this place.
So who's that guy?
Maybe he did hire somebody.
And all the times that I've watched this film, I just never really... zeroed in on that?
Yeah, because it's not like it's his Igor of his,
as far as we know, he doesn't have,
whatever.
Who's that guy?
Yeah, it's kind of
because I don't think we ever see him again.
No, I missed him, Ted.
Yeah,
I sat down and cried until I
where's that guy at?
Unpaused it. I said, "Mother effer, I've had eggs and I've jellied my toast, and there's no sign of this guy anywhere else to be." And I was very upset.
You wasted your whole frickin' day.
Stuff happens like this. When you do what we're doing here, and you're going to do this commentary like this, you dig deep into the film, and little things like that really affect you.
That's right. And it doesn't go away. It's not. It's still going to be there tomorrow.
It is. It is.
Still going to be thinking about it. Oh, man. Until I...
Did you like the blown up poster I made of that scene?
Yeah,
with that guy walking through that.
Yes, but
on the wall.
But then what do we do with him?
I don't know.
But Mike gets out.
Yeah,
he's going to kind of look around a little bit out in this mausoleum hallway, and then a first view of the sphere.
Yes,
which goes shooting out.
And we do get another look at the guy.
Well, all he does is grab Mike from behind, but we still don't know who the hell he is.
Well, but he gets sphered. I'm not going to show it.
Yeah.
It's a little gruesome. But he digs deep. He's bleeding.
Yeah, Mike bites him, and then,
the sphere just comes right, boom.
And what the sphere does, it's got two prongs that stick out.
Oh, it's so cool.
Get you in the sides of the head.
Spikes.
And then this spike comes out, starts drilling in your head, and evidently every ounce of blood you have comes squirting out through your head.
Yeah, it sucks it out like a fire hose.
I mean, what's the point of the way that this thing kills you?
I don't know.
I mean, yes, it's cool and it's unique, but...
Well, I think that it's very cool just to have this sphere fly... Oh, my God.
And the spheres get even more elaborate as the films go on. Yeah. I know there's one, I think it's maybe 3, that ends where, Reggie's in a corner and there's just, like 100 of those things floating right, in front of him. And that's how the movie ends. Yeah, literally.
Oh, my gosh.
Literally. Jody turns into one. Mike creates one out of a car engine. I mean...
Why? I'm not going to watch the other movies now.
I spoiled them for you completely.
Dang it.
Completely. But it's a interesting tool.
It is. I like it.
Again,
in this movie, I liked it. I don't know if they go too far with it in the other movies.
It's just... Yeah, a little bigger, better. I think I saw a trailer for Ravager where there's like a gigantic one, like city size, floating over, a cityscape. But, I mean, I don't know. This is just one of those things in that movie. It's just strange. It's not always explained. And that's kind of partly why I dig it.
Yeah.
It's just... And as the movie goes on, it's got that dreamlike quality throughout the whole movie, which fits the tone once you've seen the end.
Yeah.
And that's what's really, neat about it. And that's what stays with me about it. I really... But...
I like how he... Oh, I'm sorry.
No, please, go ahead.
I like how he confronts during all of this happening, the tall man, he's confronting him. He's walking right towards him. But then, he starts chasing him.
Oh, God.
Chasing him down the hall, and he's
that's kind of scary because he's reaching out for him.
And gets right back into that room, and luckily he's able to throw down a piece of wood and
close
lock the door.
But his fingers are caught,
and he cuts it.
And all the yellow blood.
And we find out with these aliens, they've got some kind of like honey Dijon mustard blood.
You could dip a nugget in it, and he takes one of the fingers.
And he puts and it's in a box later, which is kind of cool. But anyways, those Jawas are in their room and start running back after him and stuff too.
Right.
But the box is moving in there because it stays alive.
Yeah, he's sleeping on the steps with a shotgun when he gets home, waiting for his brother. And it's a little wooden box, and it's teetering back and forth because that finger's inside moving.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool, I think.
Jody wakes up, she's like, oh, what the fuck? And he's sitting there with a shotgun.
Yeah, he goes. I think, don't they spend 5 minutes with Jody in the bathroom? Just he's like staring at himself, getting gunk out of his
eyes,
and
gargling.
They show him take the gunk out of there, and he rolls it up, and he throws it in the sink, and it makes like a
plop.
Sound, and I'm like going, what was that even for? I think we saw the one with the extra footage.
Maybe the X-rated one.
X-rated?
I think this one was originally X-rated or something.
Seriously?
I don't know. I thought I heard that somewhere when I was a kid or something like that. So they decide to go sit outside on the porch.
Oh, it's a lovely scene.
And there's Jody. Let me see your evidence. He opens it up, and he's like very calm. He opens it up. There's a severed finger in there, sitting in some honey mustard, and it's moving around and wiggling around. And he closes it back up. He's like, "All right."
Looks almost like Gerber squash.
Yeah, it's probably baby food.
Do you like his expression? What a great actor!
And it's just like, okay, I believe you now.
Yeah,
there's son of a bitch.
There's not no transition to shock or oh my god, what the heck is this? No, he's just like, I believe you now, Mike. Okay, what are we going to do now? And they go into the kitchen.
Actors.
I know.
They were adequate enough to get the point across.
Right, because it is a good movie, and but the acting from the actors, at least from these two, Mike and Jody, are bad.
I think Reggie's pretty good. And I think Reggie throughout the films is actually pretty good.
I would say you could tell he's a better actor.
Like in the second one.
But he's got a less role in this movie.
In the second one, see, he's kind of like, he and Mike are kind of like the main characters in the rest of them. And
does Mike's acting get any better?
It's adequate, yeah.
Passable, okay.
Yeah. I know, like in the second one, when he and Mike are going after the tall man, they bust into a hardware store. And
what is the book? I'm sorry, real quick.
I want to know that too.
What is the book on the counter next to the kid's thing? I couldn't get.
I couldn't tell because it looks like one of them old cool paperbacks that I would have read, like an Edgar Rice Burroughs or something. But I couldn't tell though. I'm dying to know. I tried to find out. I can't find out anything about it. So if any of you out there know like what prop they use for that book, I just like to know stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he notices the wooden box isn't moving anymore. And they're going to head back up to that cemetery. Mm-hmm. He opens it up, and there's some kind of weird. Evidently, the finger turns into a bug.
It looks like a giant
fly, sort of.
Spider fly, furry
mixture.
And it crawls up on his head.
Jumps out. You don't know where it went, and then all of a sudden, like you see Mike, and it's just you can see his hair moving up, and it's on his head.
And it's funny. They're beating the heck out of it.
This is like Reanimator funny with the cat.
Yes,
That's what it reminds me of.
Because they're fighting this.
It's wrapped up in a shirt. And, God! and it looks so fast.
It's almost like a cartoon.
And they end up pushing it
where
into
the flies
sink.
In there, like,
like the, what is it, like garbage disposal.
And they push it down in
there.
Right,
and Reggie's coming in, hey, how you guys doing? Just coming to see what's going on. And they're sitting there trying to kill the thing. And he's got no clue what's going on.
It's a trip. I mean,
that's a cool part.
And they don't kill it. I mean, I guess they didn't get it
far.
Not
at first. No,
they didn't get it far enough into
it comes
garbage.
Jumping out again.
Yeah.
And he scares the hell out of Reggie. He's like, what the hell was that, man?
He goes, what the hell? He plays, what's his name on that cartoon?
What?
Judd.
No.
What the hell are you doing?
Who's Judd?
Whoever did Beavis and Butthead.
You mean King of the Hill?
King of the Hill, yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
You mean like Hank Hill?
Yeah, Hank Hill. Reggie don't talk like that in this movie? Okay. I'm wrong. But I
didn't go along with you at all on that one, did I?
Anyways, it does fly back out of the garbage disposal. Reggie falls on his butt, and they start fighting it again. They get down there.
And I was trying to finish my thought before, just as far as one of the sequels, because they get bigger and badder as they go on. And he and Mike bust into a hardware store, and they're going to go after the tall guy, and he takes like 4 double-barrel shotguns and hooks them all together, and that's like his massive weapon throughout the series. This thing of 4 shotguns, and it does.
So he's still got to shoot each one individual, right?
I don't. He rigs it up somehow, but it's just this big massive.
Or did he rig it up so that they can all 4 barrels can shoot at the time?
I don't remember exactly.
Did I spoil your story?
No, you didn't spoil my story. Because
I'm trying to figure that out.
But just to illustrate,
that sounds cool. Yeah,
they get bigger and badder as the sequels go on. Bigger explosions,
almost like an Evil Dead thing. The next one's a little more far out like that.
A little bit, yeah. They get a little bit more far out in the stories. Okay. Things get a little bit, more out there as far as the sci-fi element goes. Yeah, and they do have pretty good continuity. I mean.
I think I keep going out of the picture.
The second one, even though they use different actors to kind of depict these characters, they do pick up
where
this leaves up. Well, because it was made like 11 years later. So, I mean, Mike's obviously...
Was it that long between the first and second
one? Like 89 when they made...
Wow.
88. It's either 87, 88, something like that.
So they had a lot to think about.
It took a long time to make a sequel.
Yeah. Huh.
And so they did, so even though the same actor is playing Reggie, he's clearly older...
Right.
But they do pick up like where the last one left off, so that's kind of neat like that.
Okay, cool.
They do have continuity, but
yeah, I'll be. Hey, after this movie, I'll be watching the next one.
Yeah, the new one is supposed to be coming out soon, and I'm anxious to see it. Don Coscarelli didn't direct it, but he wrote it.
So I got to catch up on them for sure.
Yeah, it's a cool friend, and they're all like out of print in this country now, except for the second one. You can get the second one on Blu-ray. But the others are all out of print, so you kind of
gotta bring them back out.
Them.
Oh, they'll bring them back out again.
Well, that's what I'm hoping.
The new movie's coming out.
Well, I'm hoping with
what they always do.
Yeah, with the new movie coming out, and with J.J. Abrams being so vocal about being a fan of the first one, and helping cough up maybe some cash to oversee the restoration of it. Mm-hmm. And it's supposed to come out in theaters. They're talking about having like a Ravage Phantasm and the new Phantasm movie, like double feature kind of thing.
Okay.
Which I would definitely be down for. I'd love to see the original on a big screen.
Huh. So then what happens, getting back to the story...
They're going to head back to that...
Jody does.
Right.
He tells Mike, he says, stay here, stay put.
With the shotgun.
And
gives him the rules.
Yeah.
Don't aim a gun at somebody unless you intend to shoot him.
Yep.
Don't shoot a man unless you intend to kill him. No warning shots. Warning shots are bullshit.
Exactly. He does tell them that, yeah.
Warning shots are bullshit. And there's quite a few guns in this house. They got shotguns and pistols.
I mean, evidently this kid has grown up quick because he's working on cars, driving them, guns, knives.
Right.
And the brother's not concerned whatsoever. But Jody goes back and gets attacked by a Jawa.
Yeah, right. He goes into
and don't they go, you got R2 units, you got R2 units.
Oh, Teddy!
But,
I think they're going to drag him over to, Owen Lars's moisture farm and try to sell him off as slave labor.
Yeah. You come with me.
Oh, Teddy!
Oh, man. But yeah, he goes back the same way, knowing the story he just told him.
Yeah. And he pops a couple caps in some of these guys. I mean, you can take them down.
And does he find out that it was Tommy at this point, or no?
No, not yet. He hightails it actually out of the
he takes off real fast.
Yeah.
But
he ain't sticking around as long as his baby brother did.
Yeah. Later on, they find out that it's the townfolk, people who are dying in the cemetery.
Right.
They're using them for, and we'll get to that.
Right. And so Jody's going to get out of the cemetery, but he's being chased now.
Yeah, and he figures he'll work on his little Iron Man competition that's coming up later on in the film. Mm-hmm. So you see him like jogging home, and he's really working up a sweat.
Right.
I don't know why they threw that in the movie like that, but the whole swimming thing. I mean, he couldn't swim at all. Why are you entering an Iron Man competition if you can't swim?
I'm so confused about what movie I was supposed to be watching.
Oh! Anyways, we get to as he's running out of there.
Yeah, he puts a couple of bullets into the car
because the car follows him out.
Right,
of the
but
funeral.
the car gets around him, takes off.
Is it the white hearse?
It's
type?
the hearse. Yeah, it's the hearse.
Okay.
With supposedly the tall man. You think it's the tall man there, but it's not necessarily. Then he sees another car coming down the road, and he's about to fire into the car.
Bust a couple caps in the air.
Yeah, pop off a couple rounds. But
he's like, "Hold up, man! That's 5-0."
And if he had, it would have been he'd have popped some caps in the Barracuda, because it's Mike, who doesn't listen for shit, coming to his rescue, which was actually very fortunate, because then that hearse comes back around.
It's a good thing the kid was that strange and followed him all over, because he jumped in the car.
And this ends up being kind of cool, man. You know, Mike's driving the Cuda, and Jody's out there with the shotgun. I'm gonna put a couple of rounds in the engine block. You know, kapow, clack clack, kapow.
And he goes, "There's nobody driving."
Yeah, that's right. They realize there's no one driving that car.
Yeah, I mean, and Mike pulled up in a car. So how did Jody get to the funeral home?
He walked. He snuck under cover of darkness. He didn't want to take his car.
Again,
he walked.
There's some things in the movie that you're just like, what the heck?
Or maybe he did. No. He probably just walked, man. It's not far. It's like half a click.
If you're going there to get what he's doing and get the job done and figure out what's going on, you're going to drive there.
I don't know. Maybe he did drive. Maybe Mike
Whatever.
followed. I don't know.
Yeah, Mike ran.
Doesn't matter.
He's an Olympic runner.
Maybe he took Mike's dirt bike. I don't know. Maybe he took his bicycle. They showed him riding a bicycle earlier in the film.
Oh, yeah, that antique tricycle.
The cool 10 speeds with the shifters down on the... where you couldn't really tell what gear you're in. You just had to keep clacking until it...
Anyways, yeah.
So after the car chase and the shots fired, the hearse crashes into a tree, and they get out. You know, because it didn't look like anybody was driving this car. They want to check this out.
Yes, this is where we find out.
Right.
This suspense is killing me, man.
Well, yeah, because it's one of those Jawa dudes.
Yeah, the Jawa.
You know, it was like like an old person driving where you just see the hands on the steering wheel. But he pulls
because they're little 3-foot squished. City folk.
And he pulls the hood back and he sees that it's Tommy.
It's Tommy.
But it's only...
And he's got Dijon mustard dripping out of his mouth.
But it's only, a 3-foot tall Tommy.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's smashed because of the atmosphere.
Well, that's what we're going to find.
Yeah, we will
why
find out.
Why they're smashing them down.
Yeah.
It's so many ideas in this movie.
There's a lot of weird stuff.
That's why there's so much crap out there.
They're 3 foot tall because... We won't tell you exactly how they get there yet, but they're going to and from the planet that they get to through a dimensional portal type thing, and it's so they need to be smooshed down to that size. And I love we'll talk about once we get to the room too. Reminiscent of Return of the Living Dead, those barrels.
Yes,
which is kind of cool.
But right. I didn't think about that. You're right. Now I see that. Yep.
Kind of cool though.
Yeah, this has got a few movies in it that it reminds me of, like the ones I mentioned before. Reggie gets back in. Yeah,
because he calls him up on a payphone. Reggie gets there with his ice cream truck.
Right, and they put Tommy's dwarf body.
And he's like, "Oh my God, it's not going to leak all over my ice cream."
Yeah, I remember he says, "Man, is this going to ruin all my ice cream?"
Oh man, and you gotta love his Saturday Night Fever outfit, the black and white suit Reggie has on.
He's the ice cream man.
Yeah, but what's with the black vest, tux, bow tie, Night Fever?
Reggie's got his own thing, man.
He does. No, I like Reggie. He's cool.
I do. You better like him because he's in all the other movies.
Well, supposedly, hopefully, a bigger role than in this movie. No?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like I said, he's arguably the main character in all the other films.
It makes sense.
And Mike, but
and who's the lady that goes, Who you, man? Get out of my house!
What?
Some woman pops out and says, "Get out of my house, brother!" No?
No, you're right.
Who is that lady?
What? You're right. What part is that?
It's when they all come back with the ice cream truck, and they come back to Jody's house, But I don't get, who is she? Is she to help, to clean? For Mike?
Did it happen already, or does it happen later on?
No, it happened. When Reggie walks to the end of the hallway, this lady jumps out and startles him and scares him. And next thing I know, they're all three by the fireplace talking.
I remember watching it, and
that's the only time I ever see that.
I remember we were supposed to do it last week, so I actually watched it the week before last. So, but yeah,
holy crap!
I don't know.
Anyways, whatever.
You're right. I don't know who that is, and I remember that part now because when you said it, I'm like, you're right.
It's strange because that's the only time you see her too. I don't know. We'll just say there's a dreamlike quality to this movie. Yeah,
and that's kind of how.
If this ends up on YouTube, then it's real.
Are you sure?
And I know.
Then it happened.
I think.
It's a deep question, but
deep thoughts.
That's
by Jack Handy.
And that's where I kind of state that this movie wasn't necessarily originally intended to have a sequel.
Yeah.
Because of the there's a lot of dreamlike thing. There's the music, which is very
Yeah, I think he said I'll never make a remake because of the soundtrack.
Well, because no, but it's just got that feel. It's got that tubular bells,
like the bells of St. Mary.
You always put me off.
Sorry,
tubular bells from Exorcist.
He's trying to go deep into his vault of info, and I'm throwing him off. I'm so sorry.
Or Goblin. You ever listen to Goblin? They did like the soundtracks to a lot of horror movies, Italian horror movies.
I'm going to have to look them up.
They did the soundtrack for Dawn of the Dead. The music from Dawn of the Dead, the original.
Okay.
Yeah. They're kind of like I think they're from Italy or Spain. But yeah, just like a prog rock band. But I've got all their records at home. And
do you?
Oh yeah, good music, cool music. Cool. Put you together something.
Yeah, man. Set me up, brother. And this is where what happened?
Jody's gonna send Mike for safety to a friend of his who runs an antique store.
Yeah.
Just to keep him there for the night, so that he and Reggie can, maybe get some kind of a plan together. So,
and is Jody and Reggie, did they plan on, I forget again real quick, they plan on going back to the funeral home together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love at the
antique store where Mike sees this old photograph of the tall man riding in front of the same cemetery home. And he's on a carriage.
Yes.
And doesn't the photograph sort of come to life for a moment?
Yeah, it kind of looks at him, yeah.
Right.
And says, boy. And I love the chick's feathered hair and the shop.
Is it the last Phantasm film, the fourth one, I think, maybe? Where Mike actually goes back in time and sees the tall man, as a human. Before anything ever happened to him. No, I'm like
he was
a regular man, and
yeah. So there's a lot that I'm going to have to figure out.
There's a lot of stuff
because this movie tells me he's in charge here and he's an alien,
right? And as you know,
and it differentiates.
Like in every film, they kind of kill him. But then another one just takes his place. Like another one comes right through the portal. Same body.
Do they ever say exactly who he is?
You get a little bit of the backstory. Yeah, I think in the fourth one a little bit. Like I said, there's a little element of time travel, interdimensional stuff. Like I said, this series ends up being a little bit more sci-fi than anything else, in my opinion.
You gotta love when they're driving in a Beetle.
Oh god,
and Mike's in the middle, and you barely see his head above the thing. But anyways, that's So there's a lot I guess I got to figure out by watching the rest of them.
Yeah, I definitely, if you like the first Phantasm, I would watch the others, just because it...
Is there ever a conclusion of, do you ever figure out, like,
not yet.
The tall man is this person, or... You know what I'm saying?
I think by the fourth one, you kind of figure out how it all happened.
Okay.
But then there's this last one that's supposed to be coming out.
Okay.
But I do remember them showing him, like, in the past. I think it might have even been like the 1800s or something like that when he goes, that he goes back to or something like that.
That's a long time ago.
I can't remember exactly how he time travels, if it's like through a portal, if it's a trance or something like that.
Yeah, dream, whatever, yeah.
But yeah, he does go back in time.
It gets complicated when you start getting into this interdimensional movements and going from place to place.
It happens to me all the time.
I can sit down and talk to you guys a little bit about this one night on another podcast, but
You do other ones.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah, my paranormal podcast. Paranormal Into the Night.
Is that what it's called? Into the Night?
Yeah.
You taking all of Art Bell's audience?
I probably am now. Because Art Bell ain't on no more, and somebody else is trying to do the show.
Is it still his
producer,
or is it someone else?
It's still his producer.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think something's in the work. Art Bell actually messaged me, and I'll talk to you later off air.
Off air. You don't get to hear.
Boom, 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 boom. Anyways, what happens? As they're driving in that little Beetle, the two hot chicks on the side that really need to go out and party and get down and get some disco dancing going.
Yeah, because Mike insists that he has to go back home.
Yeah.
And so they're going to take him home.
And
they find
the ice cream truck
flipped over.
Yeah, and there's smoke. You can see the light.
Right, it's all opened up. Tommy's gone. Cool. Tommy Jawa's gone. And the girls get attacked by the Jawas.
Mike goes and looks in the ice cream truck. I mean, he's got no fear.
Right, there's some of that yellow...
I think something's actually wrong with him, that he doesn't feel pain or have fear.
He's got too much guts.
Yeah, I guess.
He's too much guts.
Because, he...
then they come back there and they start whooping his ass. Good.
Yeah, the Jawas do.
And they put a hurting on him, throw him out the friggin' back window of the Beetle and knock him out.
And they take off with the two chicks.
Right.
And I'm hoping that they, really get to know them better.
Yeah, I mean...
really sit
talk
down.
To them a little first.
Yeah, I mean, find out who they are as people. What their signs are.
What their signs.
Pisces and Scorpio really play a big part in this film later on, and the girls really sit down. Because the fortune teller earlier in the film shows up later on again in this big bright room. It's like. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're veering off the concept of the film.
I love listening to you go.
A little bit, but what happens is he finally wakes up on the road.
Yeah, he's laid in the middle of the friggin' highway and runs back home.
Do you love how he comes back home?
Slugs a beer.
He comes back home, plops in Jody's
lap.
And Jody's still got his face.
He was having some dream about being in the mausoleum where the Jawas grabbed him through the wall and pulled him into the wall.
But his facial expression doesn't even change.
Well, that's how good of an actor he is.
He doesn't even get upset. I think the worst he gets upset is, look at this. He goes, and that's it.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. Yeah, and when Mikey chugs a beer real quick, and I don't know what that's going to do, but
it gives him a little liquid courage. That's what it does.
But they immediately
like Sprite.
Whereas Mike's kind of getting everything done, and Jody was, I don't know why he was just laying, getting some rest in the chair.
Ticked off that he came back to the house. He told him to stay home. He picks him up, throws him over his shoulder, throws his ass in his room.
Yes.
Not only closes the door, what does he do? He takes a screwdriver.
And answer me this. I never understood. What is that doing to stop him from getting out?
I think he just jams the door so he can't open it. Because jams it into the wood or something.
Just made it tighter?
Yeah.
So I guess he thought, hey, Mike's skinny, frail.
But this kid,
he's not going to.
Excuse me, this son of a bitch. I mean, come on, Jody's being a real tit for I mean, the kid's been right about everything, and look how tough he is. Maybe you could use his ass to help you out.
No.
It seems like the kid's pretty good in a fight.
Yeah.
So,
no, I agree with you 100%. He kind of figures everything out.
Right. I kind of want him with me.
Yeah, in a way. Because what does he do? He even figures out a way to get out of this room.
Right. He has a shotgun shell in his pocket. And like freaking MacGyver, he's got a hammer in his room, because who doesn't?
He is a young MacGyver.
And he uses a little scotch tape and tapes the shotgun shell to the hammer and just whacks it against the door and blows the handle off.
And he's able to reach out there, open the door,
take the screwdriver out and get out.
And get out, yeah.
I mean...
where's this... Yeah, he's a young
Why don't you want this kid with you? He's got ideas.
Well, you know what? Mike is kind of... Or Jody's kind of a dumb...
He's a tit.
He's a tit. Yeah. He just sits there and flops around. I mean... Because, he's a damn tit, But yeah, I don't get the whole Jody being so stupid.
I mean, he's being protective of his brother.
But in the whole going back and forth from
what's
this
going
place,
on here? I mean,
wouldn't
They keep going back and forth to this funeral. Make a decision.
The first...
I'd freaking move.
Not even that. I'd go to the police.
No one thought of that. And I guess, in a way, it's like, who's going to believe you? But it does seem that this tall man has zeroed in on them. They suspect something. They don't even know what's going on yet, but just the fact that they suspect something, they keep coming after them and anyone who's around them.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if moving would do any good, or obviously going to the police wouldn't make any difference, but...
I don't know. You would think that, go to somebody, some law enforcement, something, just to... But anyways,
get somebody to check it out. Just go up on the hill, go in there and look around. Because then one of those cops doesn't get it. That's kind of how it is throughout the whole series, though.
Really?
Like, whole towns are deserted and nobody does anything.
Like I said, I'm nitpicking here, but, that's kind of what makes the film kind of cool.
Yeah.
Is that it's like a desolate town, and, that's what lends to the atmosphere of the movie,
And throughout the series, the tall man makes it, pretty plain that, he's got plans for Mike, and even like remember I told you that part like when Reggie's got all those spheres, like, got him cornered. Yeah. Like, I think at the start of the next movie they go away. It's like, he just wants to toy with them more. Huh. He's like, I'm not done playing with you yet. Really? So
yeah, see, that's almost he's almost got a Pinhead type quality to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be.
In human form, but alien. It's strange. But anyways, the tall man does come to the house.
Yeah.
Because Jody told him stay there because that's always the best thing to do. Now that they've all 3 times that he told him to stay there, he didn't. You know what I mean? So the tall man does end up coming back and grabbing him, and he
throws his ass in the hearse.
Throws him in the hearse and plows on through back to the
cemetery. And I think Mike just kicks out the window and manages to
shoots it. He's got a gun.
Oh, that's right. He's still got
he shoots.
Why did he shoot the tall man? Why is he shooting the back of the window when he should be shooting the tall man in the back of the head?
Yeah. I don't know. But he also is very, very good. He knew exactly where to shoot through the vehicle, to the tire, and flatten the tire.
Why do you need the flat? Well, I guess when you jump out the window, it makes it a little easier. But the car hits a pole and goes up in flames.
Yeah. And
I know.
And isn't the tall man's dead there, right?
The tall man never dies.
Well, right. But this incarnation of him,
no.
Do we see him again?
Yeah, we'll see him
because I haven't seen this in a couple days, so I forget films very quickly.
We'll see him.
We will. Oh, thank God, Ted. Oh.
Because he's in 4 other movies. So.
No, in this movie.
Yeah, we'll see him again. Of course, we see him at the very end.
That's right.
Yeah.
What am I talking about?
You crackhead.
Oh. But anyways,
the reason that Jody wanted to go back to the cemeteries, once they realize that they're taking these townspeople, shrinking them down. They don't know why, but they know they've done it to Tommy.
Making them
into
into 3-foot dwarves.
Very
odd.
Mike had said to Jody, what about Mom and Dad? Because they're taking the bodies. And he's going to go there and check the mausoleum, make sure that, Mom and Dad are okay. Although in one of the other sequels, Mike's actually trying to dig up the graves, so there's, I think, a little continuity error there.
And how could you do that? How could you get that messed up and mixed up? They're in the mausoleum.
It's like, whatever's easier.
And why?
Maybe they just figure people won't remember.
And why do they show them? You would think the atmosphere would crush them themselves, but why do they show them towards the end of the movie in that compressor? Putting the bodies in there and smashing them down like the cars they do? What was that all about?
What can I tell
you? Because they didn't bleed. Nothing came out of their orifices. They just... And they were 3 foot tall.
Man, I just liked the movie. I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't rate the
I love the movie. I love the movie too.
But Jody goes to open the casket, but then he can't even look. Like he just closes it.
Jody got back.
Look.
Jody got married. He did get back, and he looked in it too.
And Mike, he comes in there and he opens it up, and the body's gone.
You would think that I maybe drank a little too much coffee today or something.
Did you?
I didn't.
No. I don't notice anything different at all.
Okay.
There was that one too. I think it was from the perspective of the ball when the scene's all red.
Yeah.
And I think that's because then the ball comes
Like, where's that ball coming to,
right?
You know,
and it's coming for Mike, but good thing Jody's got the shotgun. Clack, clack.
Yeah, you know
Shellac, clack, boom.
That kind of got me, Ted.
He's got excellent aim.
Well, no, that got me just the fact that this shotgun shell was able to blow this metal sphere up.
Well,
it should have been more powerful of a metal or device or something. I mean, I don't know. I didn't. Ted's getting tired.
Yeah, I've been up since like 6:30.
I hear you. We're getting towards the end of the film.
No,
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I mean, not only he shows up in the nick of time and clack, clack, bam. I mean, the thing's coming right at you, and you got time to aim at that sucker.
Yeah, good aim. I mean, I guess I understand
Mike
that.
Mike and Jody make a formidable team.
Yeah, together.
But then after they blow up the ball, or one of the balls,
they go to the room that they know they heard stuff going on.
This is the room where that girl disappeared.
Yeah.
And they're about to open it, and Reggie comes running up.
Yeah.
And he mentions...
Because we thought he was dead when the ice cream truck was flipped over.
Yeah, we didn't know about Reggie.
But
and
he
mentions
got away.
That, because they mentioned the girls that were taken out of the Volkswagen.
He followed
And he says that he got them out. He's like, they were tied up in the basement. He's like, with some other girls I've never even seen before. So I don't know if that's maybe the blonde girl or not, the granddaughter from the fortune teller.
Yeah.
But yeah, some things kind of get glossed over. Yeah, I cut them loose and they went running out of here.
Yeah. I wish they would have showed that. But, yeah. I mean, you can't show everything.
I guess you can't.
Yeah, I would have loved to see them all down there and see who else was down there with them and stuff. But
right.
Yeah, you gotta love they open the door.
And it's all those little containers, sort of like
Return of the Living Dead.
Like you're saying. And they're all about this tall. And
I'm looking to see, they don't show like the little thing on top. Like you could look in and you'd see the zombie.
There's just like little eye holes right there in the front, and they can see that's what's inside there. And
but what's in there? It's the bodies, right?
Yes, squished down, and that's to transport them from here to their world.
Yeah, but the thing I don't get is how do they get them squished down?
Don't know.
They never go over that in any of the movies.
This doesn't really happen anymore in the dwarves and stuff. I mean, you get other characters as well.
Because that kind of makes, and like I said, I love the movie, but we're digging deep here.
Right.
It don't make no sense. Even if you squish the body in there, does it like those toys the kids get where you put them in the water and they grow and then you take them out and they shrink?
No.
I mean, what makes them shrink?
I don't know.
I know, weird.
I don't know what makes them shrink, but
cold water.
Maybe, could be
Shrinkage.
I was in the pool. In the room, there's 2 silver poles.
Yes.
And
the tuning fork.
This is what we're going to see throughout the whole series of films.
Yes.
Is this portal, these 2
takes
poles
you from our planet to their planet.
Or various other places in the other films as well.
Okay.
Mike puts his hand in and pulls it out real quick, notices his hand disappears, and then he flashes back to putting his hand in that box.
Yes.
That's why we had to remember that.
And you see all the Jawas on Tatooine looking for the robots.
Yeah, he goes through, and almost like he falls through and sees their planet.
Yeah.
And it's all the little Jawa guys,
in a long line.
And I guess just that view alone, when Jody and Reggie pull him back out, is enough to make him realize that they're being used for slaves, and the gravity's too heavy, and that's why they have to squash them down. And he's got all this information just from that 2-second view. But that really helps us out, because now we know.
Yes. Yeah, they had to let us know what was going on.
Right.
I appreciated that. Very much.
That was cool. It was a neat. It looks like a completely rock planet.
Yeah, gravel everywhere.
Yeah,
and red sky.
Red and black sky. And that's it. Not very nice. No trees. No Walmarts.
No trees or Walmarts.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. No nothing really.
Excuse me. The lights go out.
Yes.
The lights go out in Georgia.
And Mike does light that cigarette lighter.
There's a Jawa.
But you gotta like you said, it only shows just a little bit. like it's supposed
to.
But
that's cool because you just see the little, just a little fleck.
And a bunch of shenanigans are going on. You hear a bunch of stuff.
This whole movie's shenanigans.
I call shenanigans.
So they all end up getting split up.
Yeah, who was left in the room? Reggie. Reggie was left in the room.
Yeah, the lights go out. Jody, Reggie, they all run. I mean, Jody and Mike, they all run. I love when the lights come back on. It's just Reggie, and they're like, "Guys, you bastards!"
Somewhat like Matrix when it comes on.
Yeah, but then he sees the poles.
Yes,
and you're hearing
that
the little hum, and he puts his hands on him, and he kind of hears that hum, and he starts remembering his tuning fork.
Yes,
and he gets the idea of maybe he can.
Quiet the noise.
Right, quiet the noise there. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to put his hands on that bad boy.
And he gets in a trance. And
he doesn't get in a trance, but he's focused. He's focused.
Yeah, he's doing martial arts and he focuses.
It's the slowest part of the movie because he's back and forth.
Didn't they cut this down? It was really 40 minutes long.
The whole way his hands going back and forth 40 minutes long.
And they said we need to cut this down. It's this is really out of hand.
It is, man. They're getting out of line.
Yeah.
Jody's out there. Mike, where are you? And then next thing you know, the chick's behind him, and she pulls a knife out. She's kind of like out by the tree.
Yes. And Reggie, when he hits it, it stops the noise, and they show Jody and her, and she's like, it affects her.
Right.
And she like kind of backs up.
And somehow from Reggie touching the portal there,
everything starts sucking through like a vacuum.
Yeah, and he's got nothing to hold on
to. Or like
to.
those little things that you used to get blackheads out that were on the late night infomercials.
Yes. Yeah, just like a big snake coming out of your face.
Yes, so it's doing that.
All the barrels are getting sucked in. He got nothing to hold on to.
This is behind the scenes footage of the Saudi Arabia oil companies.
Oh, really? Is this how they get rid of the oil? We not give it to the Americans.
We ship this U.S. This is how they do it, and it comes out in the portal here.
Wow.
See, there's a lot that we don't know that's going on with the government right now, and this is one of them. To save on money.
That's right.
The Saudis flip it through this portal and it gets shipped here. This is how they came up with the idea for Phantasm.
Dang!
And he said it's got to be kind of fictional. We got to work around it.
Okay.
And that's where you get the alien kind of stuff coming in and so there's a lot of backstory behind this movie.
So not only does it start sucking everything into the portal, but it's making the wind blow outside. And they go outside and the wind's blowing all around, and they're all Mike,
Reggie's going,
Jody,
there's a storm. It's Halloween. The leaves are falling.
Right. And the chick,
not a direct quote,
who's really the tall man,
is laying
on the ground because that it affected her when she fell.
Yeah.
And Reggie comes over there. Oh, I gotta help this ugly chick out. And
she's got clown makeup on.
Yeah, and she takes the knife and just jabs it right in his guts, man. And like there's Reg, man. And you think, oh man, Reg.
Poor Reggie. Yeah,
I know.
But evidently he lives in part 2. He's
of course.
around.
As we'll see in part 1 here.
Yeah.
So basically,
right. I'm jumping ahead.
Oh yeah. So basically,
this movie can flip you out and get you back and forth on a lot of different things.
Like I said, you just gotta keep on the fact that it's very dreamlike, and that's what comes up at the end.
Yeah.
And there's more than one way you can view this movie.
Yeah, you can view it. They've got VHSs out there. They got
beta.
Over-the-head theater system units they got now. I think that's the newest thing out there right now.
Yeah.
I'm putting you to sleep here.
No, man, just all my caffeine's wearing off.
I can't wait to eat something. But yeah, So
we're gonna come down to Jody and Mike. They find each other, and they decide that they got to stop him once and for all. So what they're gonna try to do is, since he's after them anyway. There's an old mine shaft.
Right.
Okay. And they are going to try to coax him to trap him in the mine shaft and throw a bunch of rocks on top of him.
And this is where...
This is it. This is the plan.
Well, actually, he's smart here because he... and don't you like how the house actually disappears like in a green...
Right, as they drive away.
Rocky Horror Picture Show thing. It took
off. I almost see it kind of like Poltergeist, kind of collapsing in on itself.
Yeah, like a green ectoplasm.
Sucked in.
Right. It's gone.
Yep, that is a cool thing we got to mention.
But yeah, I mean,
I heard that.
I wonder if that showed up on the mic. We'll find out. My belly just made a real loud noise. A Whopper. You ever have those people come up to the drive-thru and say, I have a triple Whopper?
I used to remember when I was in high school, I worked at McDonald's, and when people go to the drive-thru and ask for a Whopper, like, when they mean a Big Mac.
But a triple Whopper? Are you kidding me?
Can I get a triple Whopper?
I need 3 pieces of meat on that there big old sandwich.
Not that big. What if you ate 3 cheeseburgers? Would that be okay?
I'm small. I'll eat a little cheeseburger.
Okay.
That does it for me.
Is that what you order? A little cheeseburger? Can I get a little cheeseburger?
Can I get a half a cheeseburger, please? Can you cut it in half, please?
I love it if you do. Can you cut it?
No onions or pickles?
None of the good stuff?
Extra ketchup.
All right, so Jody is going to drive on.
Small Diet Coke.
Diet Coke.
No diet. Real sugar. I get Diet Coke, and I put 4 packs of sugar in it.
Oh, see, that's okay then. I'm cool with that.
Okay.
That tastes even better.
So
Jody is going to go set the trap, I guess. And hopefully he and Mike are going to be able to, lure.
Mike went back home, right?
He dropped Mike off at home to get some more ammo.
Okay.
And he was going to come back and pick him up.
Okay.
So, he was just going to, get the trap ready. I don't know what... I think he was going to put some brush over the mine shaft hole. But unfortunately, while...
I'll say it when we get to the mine shaft thing.
Yeah. But I love the movie dearly.
No, I do too.
Some of the things.
Hey, come on. That's
right.
It's 1979.
And the things I like
that.
about this movie most, it's not the acting. I love the ideas in the movie. I love the music. And
I love the coatings of paint they got on the wall.
Coatings of paint on the wall.
Pale white.
Real nice eggshell type color.
Yeah.
And I like the shag carpeting. I like the
fire going all the time.
Yeah. But not just like the imagery, the dreamlike quality that I've been saying the whole thing. And
that's what made Phantasm a good horror movie, a cult classic, is because of its atmosphere and the way people have carried it along.
Yeah, lights. I mean, there's sometimes very stark red, there's green colors, there's blue colors.
Yes.
And that's what reminds me of Suspiria. It had that kind of color palette to it there. So.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the tall man kind of decides, I'm just going to go to Mike's house and screw with him over there. And Mike ends up being able to get out of the house.
Runs.
Doesn't have his motorcycle. He starts running down the street. Tombstones are popping up out of the ground. The tall man's chasing him. And basically,
following him,
he's telling
So he's doing his job.
Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the mind killer.
Yes.
And, it's almost like...
Because he's, for some reason, he's getting these, hands come out of the mud, start pulling him down. And is that a figment of his imagination that the tall man's...
I think it is.
Imprinting
and that's why
him?
he's telling stuff, fear is the mind killer.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's what the fortune teller was trying to prepare him for.
I think you're right, yeah.
So, basically, to bring it all to a head here, ultimately he leads the tall man to the mine shaft. He falls down the mine shaft. Jody cuts loose on some boulders that roll down the hill and seal him in.
Right.
And, Mike's like this at the bottom of the hill. Jody's like this at the top of the hill.
Yeah, giving each other 5.
Right. And then next thing you know, Mike kind of wakes up. And he's...
And I gotta say, in the mine shaft thing, how all the hole itself, you can see the fabric that they used for the set. That, like camouflage, it's like, to make it look like it's a real entrance in the hole. And when all the rocks come tumbling down, it looked like big old styrofoam pieces of rock.
Boulders. Make a better movie then.
Ted, I'm just saying. I like the movie too. But, so what happens? Like you said, Mike ends up waking up.
Waking up in his bed, and then
it's a dream. With Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie's sitting there.
And in conclusion.
And in conclusion, he tells Mike that none of that ever happened. It's all a dream, because Mike's saying, that those rocks aren't going to hold him forever. That's not going to hold him forever. And Reggie makes mention that, you've been having these dreams since Jody died in the car crash a while ago.
Yeah.
So presumably his parents are already dead, and Jody's died in a car crash.
And I guess where I'm going to get to this...
And Reggie's going to take care of him. He's
right.
like, you know, I'll look after you. And he's like, you know what, we need to get out of town.
Right.
How about, you know, you go pack up your stuff and we'll hit the road.
Yes, we'll hit the road.
You know, and I guess the question before we get to the very end that I'm going to lead off with is, you know, presuming that there are sequels.
Yeah.
And we know that there are.
Mm-hmm.
Then it obviously was not a dream. Jody was alive. So...
Yeah, because I take away
Jody
from
was alive.
Okay.
The tall man existed. It was not a dream.
Okay.
The tall man existed. Jody was alive.
Mm-hmm.
So then, how did Jody die? Because in the sequels, Jody is dead.
Right.
But, and there's forums on the internet dedicated to this subject.
Yeah.
How did Jody die?
That's what I don't understand.
You know, because if we take away this ending where they tell you it's a dream,
mm-hmm.
but then at the very, very end of the movie, you're not so sure it's a dream. So, you know...
Yeah, is it something that they did intend it to be?
I don't think this was ever intended to be a sequel. It's just left
right.
intended to be open-ended like this.
So I think then when
they made the sequel, it's like, well, what do you do with Jody?
Yeah, so I think that's they really couldn't come up with anything, and they just went with it.
That Jody was dead.
Yeah.
But
and not giving any answers.
You don't... Only if you take it in context of the sequels. If you don't ever bother with any of the sequels, you don't have to worry about whether Jody was dead or not, because the end tells you Jody's dead.
Yeah.
And the ending is just, you know, one of them things that they like to put in horror movies. So, but the thing that they put at the end of the horror movie is Mike's going upstairs to pack his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He closes the door, and you see the tall man in his room who grabs him, and
right.
they pull him through the mirror in his room.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the end of the film.
Yeah.
But then once you start looking at the sequels, you start saying, well, okay, then the tall man was real. All that stuff happened. Reggie actually did get stabbed.
Yeah, because why would he come back a year later after
mm-hmm.
Jody died? And
right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's
Reggie got stabbed, and Jody was still alive.
Yeah.
But as far as the sequels go, Reggie didn't get stabbed
mm-hmm.
because he would have been, you know, bleeding profusely, and Jody is dead. So those are some questions that, you know, you're left to ponder only if you take into consideration the sequels. And, you know, I don't like any of the sequels more than the original, but I think they're cool in and of their own right. I mean, they're cool to watch and see where the story goes, because it does take some interesting turns, and it goes places that the original doesn't.
Right. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not going to, you know, hey, I love the movie. Interesting ending, a little strange and different.
Right.
And then especially with the other movies coming out,
mm-hmm.
I mean, that came out. Yeah, left with, well, what the heck? But that's where I say you take it with a grain of salt, and it is what it is.
There's nothing wrong with something being open-ended and give you a little something to think about.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, God,
heck,
David Lynch has enough fans. I mean, and none of his movies make sense. So,
which we
except for
one day we have to do Eraserhead.
Yeah, you've been talking. How are we going to do that? How are we going to do that movie?
Ted,
what's there to talk about?
Oh, there'll be plenty to talk about.
I mean, I've seen that movie.
Eraserhead, guys. Yeah.
It's going to be rough. You wait and see.
We'll see.
I'll do it. You're going to make me watch that damn movie again.
Oh,
I remember I went to go see that film at, the Cedar Lee. They would show, they still do, they still show the midnight movies,
mm-hmm.
but they were showing Eraserhead. And I went, and no, you didn't go with me, but another friend of mine and his girlfriend went, and
mm-hmm.
The girl that I was seeing at the time.
Yeah.
And, they just kind of went to go. And it was pretty crowded. Not jam-packed, but a lot of people for a midnight movie. And I remember she asked me what it was, his girlfriend asked me what it was about. And I started laughing, and she didn't get why I was laughing, but there was a guy in front of me kind of chuckling.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I really can't tell you what this movie's about. I mean, I could. I mean, on the way home, I tried to give them some ideas what I thought it was about.
Yeah.
But they weren't buying it.
It's probably one of the most strangest, most complex movies out there. And whether he intentionally made a movie to where he's just goofing with us, although I think he's just a strange guy, and there was an idea behind it.
Yeah, it's just a very artistic.
Yeah, it's out there.
When you know anything about David Lynch, you know that he was an artist first,
right?
Filmmaker second,
right?
And because the guy does everything, he does music, he does paintings, he does photography, film. Mm-hmm. And, he's kind of gotten out of film. Supposedly he's working on Twin Peaks again, but who knows if we'll ever see that. It keeps going back and forth. But
it should be coming out. Showtime, I think. Yeah.
We shall see. I mean...
It's already up on their website as that's one of their series.
But they kept pushing it back a year. Like, it was supposed to have been this year, and now it's going to be next year. And
so they're saying 2017?
Yeah, 2017.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So, I don't know why.
Okay.
I think they either don't want to give them enough money or enough episodes or whatever.
Huh.
But it's like,
Okay, maybe not.
It's David Lynch,
Yeah.
If you're not going to pay for it, the French will, because they love him.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe we will do that at some point.
Yeah.
But I think next week we said we're going to do Bubba Hotep, and unless something else more interesting pops up.
Yeah.
It is another Don Coscarelli film. That's only a coincidence. But it's Bruce Campbell.
It's a comedy horror. I mean,
right. It's Bruce Campbell playing an aged Elvis Presley, and Ossie Davis, who's an old movie actor as well, playing a man who thinks he's JFK. But if you know Ossie Davis is a black man. And it takes place in a nursing home, and there's a mummy killing off the old people, and only JFK and Elvis can do anything about it.
Yeah, people will say, Bubba Hotep, is that a horror movie?
Anybody who I've ever recommended this movie to has loved it.
Yeah.
All right, I've never...
so there's a mummy in it, and they're going after it, so it's a horror movie.
I'll make you use my stuff on you, man. But Bruce Campbell.
But comedy, horror, and Bruce Campbell.
And I would say, arguably, the best acting he's ever done. And I've seen most of his films.
Yeah.
Best acting he's ever done.
So that's why, don't skip it.
No, this one will be fun. We'll have fun with this.
It's a comedy, horror, Bruce Campbell. It's going to be a ride.
All right.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. So with that said, man, check out all our stuff. Our Facebook page. Subscribe if you're watching this and you haven't. That red button, you subscribe, you click it. Or you punch it, or throw your phone at the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you want to do, man, to make it happen. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
And, and until next time, man.
Boy!
Am I doing drums?